I got over 4 million views on one of my social media posts, and the title was Why Your Wife's Nervous System is Not Built Like Yours. I think everyone can relate to this place in relationship where there's a different experience happening, where it can be crunchy, maybe in transitions when you come home from work or waking up in the morning or going to bed or swapping out time with the kids. There's all these real life experiences where women are looking for reassurance, but in the way that they're doing it, because of their nervous system being different, it can be perceived or experienced for men as nagging. Hey, are you okay? What's wrong? Are you mad at me? You ever been there? And what happens when you're there? Maybe feeling frustrated, discouraged? Yeah, I'm fine. And you want to push away? You ever been there? I've been there lots. It's frustrating. And so I want to give you the depth of what's actually happening here so that you can liberate this dynamic and not have to be there anymore. And it's going to take some practice until you're fully free of it. And there is a way where you can free up your energy and feel more at peace and calm inside of yourself if you actually know what's going on. Tony Robbins describes as clarity is power. Yeah? Can you agree? If so, let me know in the comments. Yes. Oh my God, clarity is power. Okay, I'm going to give you the clarity today so that you can re-access your power, because they don't teach us shit in school. They don't teach this in our homes that we grow up in. We don't watch it modeled. And so here we go. And if you're new to my content, I just want to quickly describe here why you would want to listen to me. Relationship has been the messiest part of my life. I was adopted twice in the first year of my life, and it created a set of patterns that played out in my life where I didn't feel like I belonged or that I mattered. I thought I was broken or something was wrong with me. I just couldn't fit in anywhere. And those dynamics ruled my life. I was kicked out of my house on the day of grad. I became a debt collector, a drug dealer, had a sawed-off shotgun held to my chest. And I hit a place where I just wanted to die. And then so I just tried to be a nice guy. And I left the darkness of that world. And I got married and bought a house and a truck, a jet boat. I followed the American dream, made multiple six figures, and I was still miserable. And then my wife ended up leaving. It was so painful because I found myself again at a place where I wanted to end my life. And so that initiated me into really getting to know, what does it mean to become a man? What does it mean to grow up, to find my power, my God-given gifts, and bring them to life? Because some part of me knew if I learned how to do that, I would actually experience more freedom, happiness, joy, pleasure, fun, the things that I think we all want, more connection. And so I've been in men's work for over 10 years. I've devoted my entire life to learning about attachment styles, developmental trauma, generational patterns, breath work, you name it, neurobiology, just so that I can empower myself in the place that I've struggled the most. And since I've done that, I now live on the side of a mountain in a beautiful home, my dream home with our 4-year-old son. And my partner and I teach the sacred principles of relationship so that other couples like us can experience how enjoyable it can be when you have the right tools. This is my entire life. I used to be a trades guy. I got so good at this that I got to leave the trades world, leave it all, and 100% go into coaching and helping high-performing people master this area of their life, and that's a relationship. That's just a bit of why you would even want to listen to me. This is my everything. I live and breathe it. Okay, so let's go into this. The 3 points that I'm going to hit today are, what are the differences between the nervous system of a man and a woman? What's actually going on in her world? And then what you can do different that's going to help the dynamic that plays out, where she will actually soften and settle inside of herself, and you're going to feel more empowered, calm, clear, and it's going to create a polarity between you two where things start to get more sexy, because there's a polarity piece that needs to happen here. So let's dive into it. The first piece, I'm going to pull up the blackboard here. Now, the differences between a man's nervous system and a woman's nervous system. Man, woman. If you have the time and the space to do this, I really encourage you to get pen and paper and take notes, follow along with me, because you're going to use more of your brain. If you are listening to me, you're watching the screen, and you're taking notes, you're just setting your future self up to win when you're in the kitchen with your partner and she's looking at you and she's upset and she's saying, "Hey, are you okay? Are you mad at me?" Your brain is going to remember this because you've integrated it on a deeper level, and you're going to be able to show up in the new way that is going to set you both free, where you both get to feel empowered, close, connected, juicy, sexy. You want that? Then take notes. Okay, so you may be wondering, Mike, tell me about a woman's nervous system. What is it doing? Scanning for safety 24/7. They can't turn it off. This is how they are biologically designed. They are scanning for safety. I'm going to help you understand why here. Our nervous systems, you can almost imagine it's its own entity. It's the animal part of us, and it was formed through all of the previous generations of human experience. So if we go back far enough, the ancestors where we actually had to survive in the environment and the elements of extreme weather and predators, tigers, lions, I'm up in Canada, so cougars, bears, that's real. that's some real threat there. And women are more vulnerable because they are designed to be the mothers. They have breasts. They have these soft features. They are generally built smaller than men. They have more estrogen than testosterone. They are more vulnerable to extreme environments. So their nervous system was formed in such a way that it is constantly scanning for safety, so that they can keep the children safe, so that they can just keep the whole village safe. And so the brilliance of their nervous system, if we go back far enough, is their hypervigilance. I'm sure you can relate to this. Your partner's hypervigilance, tracking you all the time. That's her nervous system doing its job. This would have been the situation where when kids are playing close to the fire, and I've seen this in present day life, men are like, whatever, they're fine. Whereas could actually be a danger with one of the kids. They're getting rough, and if Johnny gets pushed in by Jessica into the fire, we've got third-degree burns. He could get really severely hurt. Women mothers are always scanning and noticing those things to keep little Jimmy safe. Thank God that she has that part, because it's very different. A man's nervous system is scanning for threat. So to use this example, the woman's scanning for safety, and then the man is scanning for the threat. Back in the day, it would have been the cougar coming in, or the bear, or the tiger. A man doesn't have time to feel all of his feelings. He has to solve the problem really quickly. He has testosterone. You have testosterone. And you have this surge of adrenaline, and you are designed to be a frickin' warrior and go take care of that. Call in your brothers and focus in on the task and grab the bows, grab the swords, the guns, whatever, and take care of that situation and get rid of the threat to keep the village safe. Often, what this would look like is the mothers would notice the unsafe situation maybe first because they're hypervigilant. And they're like, oh, there's a tiger. And then the men go, boom, threat, solve it now. And then they move towards this experience and they take care of it. And so I want to name something here because this shows up. This is just a little bonus piece. This is a dynamic that I watch play out through men and women consistently. So when I'm working with my male clients in 6-month containers, a lot of the dynamics we're working out are what's going on in the body and how do we set you both up to win so you can both feel safe and move into a place that brings you into more connection. This is one of the most common dynamics, is a woman will bring her feelings that are about unsafety. And a man's brain will go into logic. We default to logic. That's just how we're built. We don't have time to go in and feel all the things. Like, shit has to get done. We got to build the thing. We got to get food. We don't have time to emotionally process this for hours. Like, let's just get to the point. And so men's default nervous system and brain is logical. It's great for problem solving. Thank God we have this. This is what makes us incredible human beings. It makes it a wise decision for a woman to choose you with the brilliance of your logic, because that's energy is going to be the banks to her river. She is this forever changing emotional being, chaos creative, and you are built as banks of the river, structure, order, if you're fully embodied. And this is a journey for most men. Maybe that's not fully online, but you're learning about it. This is why I created an online men's group called The Initiated Man. If you're in the process of, oh my God, I didn't get that from my dad. I don't have the strength. It's hard for me to be the banks. Go down in the show notes. There's a link. You can check out 7 days for free. The Initiated Man. That's men who are leaders that want to really learn these deeper principles in and amongst other men. You can check that out if you want it. So back to this piece. This is what's happening in their nervous system. So now we need to go into the next piece, and that is what's happening inside of her. So because she's scanning for safety, what she's needing from you as a man is she needs reassurance. That's the only thing that's going to help her feel safe, because her nervous system can't do that on her own. In some places, yes, she can listen to music, she can move her body, but if she's perceiving you as mad at her, or you're upset and she doesn't know what's going on and you're not opening up to your world, now her brain is firing, oh no, is him turning away from me, not making eye contact, his cold face, all these things are now her brain's just going alarm bells everywhere. And so to turn the alarm bells off, we need to go into reassurance. What this looks like practically. This is eye contact, man. One of the biggest ones. There's a professor in Harvard that has studied this, and this is so fascinating. If you spend the last 5 minutes before you go to sleep just making eye contact and breathing with your partner, you are creating such a deep sense of safety, not just for her, but for yourself, by feeding the bond, by letting the brain take in information of the person that you are bonded to. It digests the cortisol. It releases the serotonin and the dopamine and the endorphins, and you'll actually go to sleep. And while you're sleeping, you will have more enjoyable dreams, you'll be more relaxed, and you'll wake up more energized. Just a fun little bonus tip there. Power of eye contact. So reassurance, eye contact, tone of your voice, positioning of your body. What I mean by this is if you're having a conversation with her, facing her, not turning halfway out the door, which is one that I can default to because I have layers of avoidant attachment that I still work with. And so my body, without me choosing to, is kind of wanting to run away. And so I have to consciously, Mike, feet on the ground, breathe, strong back, soft front, like face her. She's not dangerous. She's perceiving you as dangerous. I'm perceiving her as a threat. She's not a threat. She's a partner that needs reassurance. So, okay, I face her. Another piece of reassurance is statements that affirm the bond. You might be asking, like, what does that mean? This means simple statements like, I'm here. I love you. I've got you. Banks of the river. When she hears those words and it's coming from your belly, from your heart, you're facing her, making eye contact, you're softening your tone, or sometimes just with some oomph, but gentle. Hey, I'm here. I love you. I've got you. Can you feel me? Though that tone, did you just feel my tone change? When I do that with Courtney, whew, she softens, she relaxes, she knows she's okay. Oh, I'm just noticing you can't see. Let's see if I can move that up here. Yeah, here we go. There you go. So for those of you that are taking notes, there's that. Okay, so the reassurance. And I want to give you a quick example and tell a story that happened today. This is what it looks like in real life. This morning, Courtney was feeling uneasy about something, and I could see it. And the thing I want to highlight is when women are feeling the alarm bells going off inside, it's really hard for them to know to ask for something because they're just in the alarm. Think of when you're triggered. It's hard to think, oh yeah, why don't I just ask for this and then I'll feel better and give me a hug, or hey, give me some space. We don't do that just because we're in the alarm. We're in our own experience. So she's upset. She comes to me and she starts to make these statements. Hey, are you mad at me? What's wrong? My default is, I'm not mad at you. I start to end up feeling suffocated and inundated. I'm now looking at her upset. I'm wanting space because that's what I need. And now there's a place where my nervous system can go into wanting to push her away so I don't have to deal with her distress. I took a breath. I took some space. And then I reoriented myself to everything that I just talked to you about. And I understood and remembered, oh yeah, she's scared. She's not built like me. She's scared. Okay. Can I just look at a woman or a little girl inside that's scared? Okay. Now I can feel that. Now I'm invoking compassion if I'm just looking at scared. My brain will want to go into, God, doesn't she see how hard I'm working? I'm just tired. I do so much. And now that's what my brain will do. But when I reorient myself, create my own sense of safety by seeing what's actually going on, now I get to leverage my logic, go into the tools that I've just described, and then orient, oh yeah, I can solve this problem, not solve her feelings, but solve this dynamic. Okay. What did Mike say in that video? So for me, I just remember because I've practiced this so many times. Okay. I need her to feel that I've got her. I need to come in, surround my physical presence, change my tone in a way where she's reassured that everything is actually safe and okay. Part of what's going to help her feel it is her knowing that I am not afraid of her feelings and that I want to be in life with her. So this morning, I see her in this experience. I come back into the kitchen and her face looked like this. And so I'm walking towards it. And I want you to really pay attention because that's the hard part, is when we're looking at a woman who is actually scared, our brain can automatically want to get away from it, but we actually have to dig deep and move towards, even if her body's saying don't. And so going slow though, into tuning, not forcing anything, but I came up to her and I said, hey, and I slowed down and I dropped down like this a little bit, found her eyes, and I put my hand behind her back, behind in the back of her heart, and I pulled her in close to me and I grabbed this hand and I put it over her heart. And I came in softly but firm and said, hey, I'm here. Sweetie, I love you. And then she took a big breath. And then she softened in, and then she looked up at me with now a tenderness, not so scared. Now it was tenderness. She said, "You love me?" I said, "I love you so much." And then tears. And then she leaned back into me. And then she looked up again. I said, "I love you so much. I've got you." And I just focused energy like coming out of my hand into her heart. She felt it. And then we started making out because I created polarity. I became the banks of the river. I saw what was happening. In actuality, her nervous system is needing support. Coming in, and just so you know, some people can think this is codependence or caretaking. It's not. It's being in the caring of your own nervous system. If you bring power and strength that you have and you reassure someone's nervous system to actually feel safe, that's just kind to both of you. So you're not just living in disconnection and mad at each other. That's not helpful. That's harmful. And so there's actual a sovereign maturity here to learn how to do this. And so we start making out, and the polarity is I became the banks of the river. Her river got to feel the banks, and then her brain shut off all the alarm bells because she got the reassurance that she needed. Oh my God. And then she looked at me and she said, "I really needed that." I'm like, "I know. I got you." She's like, "Oh, it was so helpful." And then we start making out again because now there's charge. Her vulnerability was met. I got to feel my power and bring my power in and all the things I've practiced and learned about. And I did it. I did the thing. My logical brain loves that because I just solved a distressing situation of disconnect. The problem was disconnection, not her. The disconnection wasn't me. Or sorry, the problem wasn't me. The problem was disconnection. And so learning how to be in right relationship to the differences of the nervous system, now we got sexual charge because I got to show up in my power and have it received and mirrored back, and then me be appreciated for how I delivered my power. Sexual charge. I started getting turned on right there. If my son wasn't there, we would have been making love on that kitchen floor. That's the power of this. I really wanted to go deep with you today, brother, because this is the biggest pain point that I see in all the men that I've worked with over the years. It's tricky because this isn't what we watched growing up from our fathers. It's not what was modeled. We didn't get taught this in school. And so it's hard. It's hard if we don't understand it. So my hope here is that this met your logical mind. You can now look at your notes and feel for yourself, oh, this actually makes sense. And if it does, now you can actually bring these tools, the example I described, into your day-to-day life and start experimenting. My invitation for you is hold a curiosity. It might take a few tries for you to get it in yourself, but try, go for it. It's going to be risky. You might want to avoid it, but I really encourage just start practicing this. And you will receive a different version of her. And once you get enough of those experiences, you will break your own brain of, oh my God, I can do this. Wow. And then while I do this, I'm creating an environment where I get more of my own needs met, the soft, juicy feminine that will shower you with reflections of respect and appreciation for how you use your power. For me, this is why I've devoted my whole life to doing it, living it, but supporting people in it, because the satisfaction of watching men figure this out, this doesn't just make your relationship better. This leads to more profits, better business opportunities, because there's less cortisol in the body. You're actually setting yourself free. This is true leadership in my belief. And I'm going to leave you with this. My definition of leadership that I live by is a man that is so clear in the direction that he's going, that the decisions that he makes creates an environment that nourishes him and the people around him. When you learn how to be that man in what you're doing, magic. Life becomes magical. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe so you can get more content like this. Let me know your insights, your ahas in the comments. I want to know. And again, there's a free resource down there. If you want help and support with dealing with your partner's rage, there's a resource down there. You can print it, slap it on the fridge. I'll see you on the next one.